Behind every great whiskey is an even greater story. And this one starts with a Scottish woman who has changed the face of Japanese whiskey forever. Today we're raising our glass of Miyagikyo apple brandy wood finish to Jessie Roberta Rita Taketsuru. She is a woman who has defied odds and has changed continents and completely altered the course of Japanese whiskey forever. She has become the mother of Japanese whiskey, and for International Women's Day, there is no one else I'd rather be talking about. This is going to be a good episode, guys, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm Ryan from a Dram Half Full. Glad to have you guys here for International Women's Day. We're talking about a very special woman in the industry. So this is, of course, Jessie Roberta Rita Taketsuru. Now, please, I'm going to do a little disclaimer early on in this one. I do not speak Japanese. I am going to butcher all of these pronunciations. So bear with me and just trust that I have my heart in the right place. So let's jump into it. So Rita is a pivotal role in the Japanese industry and the development of that category over in Japan. She is born and raised in Scotland and met the famous Masataka Taketsuru over in Scotland. So he was over there studying at the University of Glasgow to learn how to make authentic Scotch whiskey. He was contracted to come over to Scotland to learn the tips of the trade, to bring that back so they could bring the success of the Scotch industry over to Japan. Now, Rita and him first fell in love very early on, and because of all of the cultural and societal differences, there were so many challenges with their relationship, but they persevered. Eventually, they moved back to Japan, where Masataka began to endeavor to create an authentic Japanese whiskey experience over there. So he brought all of the knowledge and wisdom that he had acquired over in Scotland, took it home, and started to help shape the industry over there. He had a 10-year contract with a company, and then later in life, he decided to pursue his own dream of creating a distillery where he and Rita moved to Hokkaido in Japan and opened up the 𝙍𝙖𝙨𝙬 Distillery under the brand name Nikka. Rita played such a pivotal role in the development of this distillery. Her financial and emotional support were both quintessential for Masataka to pursue his dream of creating an authentic Japanese whiskey. Beyond that, living in Japan during World War II was a horrible time for Rita. She endured persecution and she was ostracized and isolated, and yet she was steadfast in remaining there with Masataka. Now, she brought a lot of her culture with her, and she actually tutored a lot of people how to speak English, which was actually very important in this story. When Masataka decided to open up the distillery, he needed some financial backing, and the relationship that Rita had accumulated with some of her students, that they were the financial benefactors that contributed and invested in the Nikka business. So without that support, without those connections, it was likely that Masataka would have not been able to fulfill his dream and create this distillery. It was quintessential that she played that role, and she was very supportive in his dream. So today we're sitting here sipping on the Miyagikyo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's the Nikka Miyagikyo, and it's an apple brandy wood finish. And this in particular is a tribute to both Nikka's origins and the bond between Rita and Masataka. Before whiskey production took off, Nikka, at the time called Dai Nippon Kaju, relied very heavily on apple products to survive, making apple brandy casks a meaningful nod to those early struggles. But apple could also connect back to Rita, as she grew up in Kirkintilloch from Scotland, a region known for its orchards. This finish beautifully bridges these two worlds, layering rich orchard fruit notes onto the already elegant and fruity characteristics of the Miyagikyo line. It's a rare limited release,
And it's more than just a whiskey. It is a symbol of perseverance, cultural fusion, and the legacy Rita and Masataka built together.
All right, so now I think it's time we pour ourselves a bit of a dram here. All right, let's do this. Hello, how are you? Okay, wonderful. I mean, on the nose, it's exactly how you'd kind of imagine it. It is just a fresh orchard, completely covered in red apples. There's a little bit of smoke that's in there as well. I don't know where that's coming from. I think I'm actually very curious about the maturation program they've done for this bottle, because I'm not 100% sure. This was finished in apple brandy wood, but that's not necessarily what the product was, stored in for the duration of its life. So I actually think that there's a little bit of bourbon in there. I'm getting a little bit of like toffee vanilla, a little bit of wood spice, nothing too prominent, nothing too abrasive, but there's definitely like a little bit of something like that in there, which is kind of curious. It's lovely on the nose, absolutely beautiful. It's got a lot of fresh fruits. It's very vibrant, very zesty. It's such a lovely sniffer. The apple brandy has done wonders for this thing. But anyway, let's go in for a sip. Cilantro var, guys. The palate is wonderful. First hit, maybe a little abrasive on the ethanol, but that's very, very quickly taken over by a load of fresh fruit. There's apples, there's pears. I even think I'm detecting like a little bit of grape or something like that in there, which is kind of fun. There's definitely a smidge of smokiness to it. It's kind of fascinating. I wonder if they've actually done a bit of a mixed cask for this one. It's curious. Or utilized a bit of a peated grain. You know what? It's got a little bit of bite to it, but mostly it's very silky. It's got a little bit of oiliness. It's very silky, very smooth. It's seeing in that as it's like 47%. And I don't usually like to do this with whiskeys that are a bit too delicate, but I am curious just to see what maybe 3 or 4 drops of water does to the rest of this. I'm gonna give that a quick little swirl just to bring that together. Okay, on the nose, a little bit of the fruit has taken a step backwards. A lot more of the vanilla and the toffee notes are coming through now. Like it's a lot more of a prominent flavor element in that aroma element in that profile. There is definitely more of that smokiness coming out of there. Funky. Okay, palate completely changes. It's less abrasive. However, there's a bit of a minerality that's come out of there now. A little bit metallic even. The fruits are still very prominent. They're still playing a key role in this, but there's this wonderful kind of like doughiness that kind of is making itself known. I would say the malt is now really starting to speak volumes. A little bit of smoke still, but the malt is coming across as like almost like a malted barley sugar sort of thingo. You know what? This was a wonderful surprise. I haven't added water to this before, so that really added a bit of a twist that I was not expecting. You know what? Very, very happy with the Nikka Miyagikyo. This is beautiful and well integrated. It's a lovely dram. Highly recommend from me. I am rapt to be sitting here today, sipping on a beautiful whiskey for International Women's Day, commemorating such a powerful figure in the whiskey industry. Everything that Rita had endured and persevered through, all of the hard work, support that she had provided to Masataka, everything that she contributed to earn the name and the title Mother of Japanese Whisky is definitely well earned in my mind. So here's to Rita, here's to all the other women that are doing some fucking incredible stuff in the industry. Nothing better. Nothing better. Anyway, have a lovely day. May your days be as full as your glass, guys. Cheers. I don't know why I'm waving this glass around like it's a wand. Expelliarmus! Oh, God. All right. Have a lovely day, guys. Cheers.